maybe there is a creator. Some of you people call him Allah, balala katonda, kino kyoyinza omuyita. But just like how I told you initially, nembaga mno tugenda kubeera ne mwami Jeff, of course he's going to be telling us some of these things we're not understanding. Ebintu bye tutali mu kutegeera bulungi. Of course we had the Uganda Musicians Association, nejja, you know, after a tug of war, then wabeerawo okulonda, you know what happened. Then finally, bakolayo associations endala omwali nabo abeita bajjajjo ba the legendaries nawo ne bakola yaabwe. Then of course later your planning those and entertambula bulungi, and of course the gentleman I was with was overseeing most of these things, even in UMA, the Uganda Musicians Association. Then later, a new thing came through, that is the Uganda Musicians Federation, NEJA, of which it is going to be taking over. It is taking all these other associations. Bamukoze association y'abachala abayimbi mumanya ate federation yegenda okubanga ebatwala. A lot of confusion has been there. I've talked to some of the artists. There is a direction where they are taking, you know, the federation and why it was even put in place. When we talk to different artists, like, of course, someone like Navio, for him it was like, no, if they are going to give them money, what is that money for? Yeah, then people like John Black, for him, he came out and he said, you know, Simububi, but, you know, Federation, there's some people who are not even qualified. Initially, they had Bebe Coola's finance. Simububi, that was opinion ya John Black. Then, of course, Eddie Kenzo Wadenga, he has traveled the country or the globe, yeah? Nayate bili ebintu bili so technical, and ego yawe, that is again John Black nagamba, ego yawe naturally they want to be pampered, and of course that is very okay because by nakubera ba celeb. And he's like, these people cannot run these things because they will do a show na vayo kusam na mwendo gwecho na inga ate kumachai no gena mu officers because we need to be serious. That's why now, of course, we thought of the best person, of course, because if press conference, but we are not understanding what is going on. So, Mwami Jeff, you can say hello to them, then we can serve them boys.
Thank you so much for hosting me.
Yeah.
Webale nnyo kunchaza wano era nsanyusa nnyo okubanga nsobola okwogerako n'abantu ku nsonga za music industry. My name is Jeff Ekongot. Yeah. I am currently the programs director at Uganda Musicians Association.
Yes.
I'm glad to be here.
The programs at the Uganda Musicians Association, right?
Yes, Uganda Musicians Association.
The
programs director. Yali in charge of okuteeka byonna ebigenda mu maaso ku secretariat ya UMA. Kwegamba ebitongole ebisinga bibeera ne side bbiri gye wandiise eri political oba eri elected ne side eri technical. So when I come on UMA, let me structure side eri technical ya UMA because emirimu music industry jetaaga omuntu ali knowledgeable technically naye ng'asobola n'okubeerawo on a full-time basis. Most of the artists abali mu industry abali active tebasobola kubeera very active with their careers at the same time nebabeera active nnyo n'ebya music industry byetaagamu obudde bungi. So netugamba nti twetaaga tuteekewo secretariat ng'erimu abantu abasobola okubeerawo on a full-time basis, able to write documents, able to understand policy issues, able to sit in meetings and guide on setting up all the different issues that we need to build the music industry and to build the institution of UMA.
So omuntu ayinza okubeera ewaka nga yeewuunya n'abantu lwaki bafaayo nnyo ku music. Really, everyone, you know, responsible people, and they are coming and they're so concerned with music. Maybe you can give us a picture. Also, how strong music is. Me, I always tell my friends. Nebaga ebintu by'okuyimba byatandikira mu Gulustani kyava yaliwo yali agala kuwamba God oba Katonda lwakuba ayimba nnyo Katonda n'amunyigira n'amusula mugenda abantu bazina amazina olina akaba olina ne bayimba music olina akaba ne bayimba music olina yeyambula ne bayimba music oli emizimu ne gimuva. So music is so over possessive, I don't know. Naye kijja ku ground fe wane waffe kati olingo omuwa value of music and you tell them how strong music can get.
Well, music, amanyiga music got different levels. Kasoke tukirabire mu angles mawanga. When countries position themselves in terms of their strength globally, they position in terms of three things. One is economic power, two is military power, and three is what they call soft power. Now soft power bye bintu bino ebirala ensi mwe ziragira amaanyi nga entertainment industry kati nga America tugimanyiko Hollywood ne music industry yayo kati n'ensi endala nazo tuzibaliramu eyo the same lens kati otunula ku nsi endala ezandibadde ntono naye nga teziina amaanyi ku level ya soft power olaba ensi nga Jamaica tetumanyi military yayo tetumanyi byakulwanisa bye balina tetumanyi economy yaabwe eyimidde naye tumanyi amaanyi gaayo mu music era eri known globally eri very influential no ku ground buli ke tuyimba olaba kalimuko Jamaica touch history of Jamaica mwe eri munda eri embedded and the whole of Africa somehow tuinaka influence n'aba Japan ne bwabawuliriza so ensi zina influence zifuna influence through music naye ova ku global influence waliwo kati emotional influence on human beings music era asigala ali powerful kintu kyokka kyetutakanirako nnyo nga ebirala tukayana ku mpiira n'embeera eno n'eno naye ku music tumuwuliriza nga tufiiriddwa nga tuli happy nga tuli just awo tukirinze ku buli kimu music yaaba atubeererawo it's the one thing that we most of us agree upon so it has a very strong influence egenda beyond just emotion influence it influences us nga tulina bye tugoba olaba mu politics wano kyakoze South Africa abaana bayimba ne wane Kenya bwe baali banoonya gundi nga balwanisa abazungu ku bayimba nga harambe nga bakolaki nga basindika so it's a very powerful emotional strand that influences the human mind so wano e Kampala oba Uganda naffe music ayina engeri gyatuvuga ndowooza mutandise okulaba so it's very important kyovalaba ne government naye nevaayo nefuna position yayo negamba tunyweza tutya kino ekintu we tukireka nekidduka kyokka kiyinza okutufuukira ezzike naye so naye naffe bennyini ng'abayimbi tuba tulina ebirowoozo tulina okuba nga tumanya obuvunaanyizibwa bwe tulina with the power that we hold in the music industry.
Because right now you're trying to streamline, but sometimes I think wadenga chilungi okubanga otandiseko. Do you think government yabokaleti singa batandika that they would have been okay?
Kituufu government ebadde naffe for a long time. Tetuyinza kugamba mbu yazze jjo because of the federation, no?
To streamline these things.
Oh yes, the government has been trying for a long time. Wotunula just no olutalo olubadde recent olw'okutereza industry twayita the guru trek twali guru and guru was a big deal during COVID. That was government in the background. That was Operation Wealth Creation. It's a government institution. So ebaali bagezaako era okukola emirimu wogera n'emabega amateeka that is still government because passing of the laws is government. Without the support of government kiba kizibu nnyo amateeka okuyita wotunula kati institutions eza music industry nga UPRS they're regulated by URSB and that's government being active at every step wano twawulira nti UPRS teri mutukolera kyetwagala government stepped in nekyusa administration kati netutuuka we tuli so government has been there it's not new and it's not the first time this is just one of the many steps they've been making to try and improve lwakuba naffe tetuli bangu mu music industry twina egos twina issues we don't take some things very seriously bintu bya policy ebyo bitutataganyamuko tetubitwala so serious naye every time wetunyigiriza nnyo obanga tuwuliddwa ssente ne tulyoka tujjukira ntubyetaaga
because bagamba abakyali baffe abamu nti mwe abaasudde ekintu ne mubanga temukikwata bulungi ddala mwami Jeff ne ttiimu ye kati abasajja ne bagamba katubakolemu federation kati ffe tubavugire eno mu bumpimpi some people are now saying as it is almost teina mugaso. I don't want to use the word usually. Teina mugaso because now federation is basically the one that is taking these associations nga ne mweri kati bakitegeeza gwe bossi wo abeera mwami Eddie Kenzo number 1 because he's the president niwabira wao vice mwami bamchala Shiba Karungi niwabira wao ba Pius Mayanja Palaso niwabira wao ba Bebe Kulu ba Fina Masanyalaze mu bumpimpi babasudde amanye.
I think that's the impression that has been created and it's but it's just an impression. The reality is very far from that. Ekiriwo nti federation eringa federations endala zonna nga bwe tunula mu mpiira waliyo fufa wabeerawo clubs the express the villa nazo zino zibeera ne association zaabwe wabeerawo ez'abakyala ezaki all of them zibeera ne wezitambulira awamu ate mu fufa kati fufa we yali nga teriiwo nejja does that mean zino zi clubs zavaawo fufa erina kyesobola okukola nga clubs teziriiwo tesobola kusamba mupiira so mpira gusambibwa bantu mu clubs ne mu associations.
But Mbela, right, so, with all the information and the knowledge you have, boss war, yeah, Mwami Eddie Kenzo, right?
It's not about boss or not boss. What about interdependence, where you depend on me, I depend on you.
Yes.
So that's the situation that's created with federations.
And because federation, association. So even when you come up with ideologies, nemuzukolanga mu associations, wezigenda ku board ku federation, they have the right to say yes or no.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, but they are the.
Let me explain.
In hierarchy, they are above.
No, federations is also above UMA. They already NCF. NCF is the apex body, the National Culture Forum. It's the apex body. Creative industries. Fena fitting omo. More creative industries. More music, film, drama, comedy, in general performing arts, banaba visual arts. Software, so as an apex body, in a specific role, Jekola, or pushing a creative industries as a whole. That doesn't make them our boss. We are an autonomous institution. What are
the objectives of the Uganda Musicians Association? Objectives are
thank you. So the Uganda Musicians Association as an advocacy institution lobbying for its members. So it's a membership organization.
Lobbying.
Yes.
So
lobbying, ne welfare. Kat lobbying pulinga okusaka
amaja
okuteeseza okwogera n'abantu ab'enjawulo okulaba nti ebintu ebibazimba bivaayo oba mubitwalayo. Babeerawo nti mwina bimwagala okutwala mu parliament nembanga mwabatwala eddoboozi kubanga buli member tasobola kugenda mu parliament kiba tekimaking sense.
Katulanga ogambye nti no mba mwagala ogenda mu parliament nga mwina kye mwagala okugusa nalaba mwami Hilderman ng'agezaako okutwala the copyright ezo issues ezaaliwawo naye kati kiba kitegeeza as an association you cannot go to the parliament because you have to go through the federation, then federation never representing.
That's not necessarily true. I'll give you an example.
Okay, Kati, I want you to differentiate.
Kankwe picture. Kati, federation doesn't even exist yet. Let's first ascertain that. Federation is a process of formation.
Yeah. But you already has out never president.
No, sometimes it's an interim committee that was created to steer the formation of the federation. Federation has not even been registered. So, tewali institution jabaita federation. Echali mumboz. So
gamba bino byonna bakola ne bayita ne press ne batuintroducingira abatutwala bonna bali mu byabwe.
Sagala okitwale bubi.
Yeah.
These are the processes that most institutions ziyita mbatula no tunabeera nze naye tusobola okutula ne tugamba twagala kukola company. Company tugenda giyita Tagi Stars.
Yes.
Ne tugamba kano akanya ka Tagi Stars kajja kunyuma nnyo. Notandika n'okwogera nga twogera n'abantu twagala tukolagana nammwe mu Tagi Stars company yaffe naye nga kyali idea tetunnabagiwandiisa tetunnagiwandiisa
ate ekyo kinkubye wala because kirungi tulina time emala webabanga they are just in the process
of
formation and
yes.
Right now of course there has been some expenditures. Of course, when they do meetings, of course, sit down, kajaka, transport refund, copy, but by the time you start now spending money, because money, it's you telling me, start spending money and you're not even yet formed and you're still in the process, that means obanga taina accountability because your spending is not yet formed.
Kisoboka era nga wenkwadde example nti wetugamba tuyinayonza ka idea naawe twagala kukola Tagi Stars naye tugamba tugenda kwogererawo okupulaninga kano ka idea tuyinza okugamba tugende ku Javas era ne tulya ekimere we have to spend money. That doesn't mean that what nti company weeri nti URSB yakutegedde dda era tulina okuspendinga tuyinza okumala nga tetukanyiza shares ani alina shares meka ani atutte ki ne tugamba manyi in the interim tukitwala eggojo okubeera CEO nagamba nze nja kubeera oba general manager oba nja kubeera
so would I be right
so awona tuli mu interim tetunaba kujosalinga company so federation eri ku stage eyo
would I be right ogamba nti bakyali abasinga bonna abamu UMA ababaddeyo on board bawalana ati kati abali mu federation because balabanga bali ate balinganga ababaliddemu olukwe bakoze ekyabe would I be right because
you would be totally wrong because ngaba UMA official abasinga bonna twogera era tuli totally fine UMA is a real institution weeri eri ku ground ina office omuntu wayagala okufuna membership ne sawa zino agenda ku office n'afuluma
ndabe ne website you can even go there get membership
ina ne website ogenda ne ofuna ne ID n'ofuluma nayo that's a real institution era wogamba nti sawa zino ndi member wa UMA njagala kufuna visa ngendeko mu America ogenda n'obakuwa recommendation n'ogenda ku embassy tewali recommendation gye twali tukoze negaana okuwa omuntu visa sawa zino ne one of our members Lanek yagenda about 3 weeks ago mu America courtesy of a recommendation from UMA. That is not something you joke with in comparison to something that's still an idea. It's a very big difference. Sometimes this sensational reporting.
Do you like the ideology of the federation?
Oh, totally. I like the federation. I like the concept of the federation. In fact, the federation idea again okujanga twatandika kyogerako. We started speaking within UMA and twetagayo what we call a music industry organization. Why? Because as UMA, it represents the performers, just abantu abayimba abakwata microphone. But as you may be aware, the music industry is much wider than that. Even entertainment journalists like yourself are part of the music industry, and you play a very critical role. Nze kati nga nze mbadde music industry for over 20 years. People like Katz tubadde nabo ku ground more than 15 years ago nga tusindika music ku events where they built the music industry. Yourself, you've been at events, all of you are playing a role in the music industry. But sometimes your role is underscored and the focus is on the performer. However, the industry has various agawera.
There is interdependency.
Batula ku katto, omuntu ayinza okulowooza akatto ke kasinga obukulu. Naye nga entebe nnene ojjako okugula okumwegwa. So we were discussing about the need to create an industry-wide platform, which fortunately has come in the form of the federation. So we totally support the idea of the federation. In fact, we were ngamo UMA twalitanso kulowooza about several things that we could not do at the level of the association. We wanted, for example, to build a music export program to start positioning Ugandan music. We were asking questions such as, why aren't Ugandan musicians ku rosters as global festivals? Ezirika abafirika. Ogenda mu Europe right now in this season since March up to now. All concerts nyingi ezibaddewo mu Europe nga ziriko African artists. Nga kuliko aba Nigeria, aba na Ghana, aba na Kenya, aba South Africa kwebali nga we are missing in action. How can we have this conversation? Some of the decisions that influence the people like being booked are much deeper than what the association can handle. I'll give you an example. Today when DJs play music, they presume that they're just playing it for the local audience. But advanced DJing now is using advanced systems like Serato that are talking directly to DSPs, that you're playing on Spotify through your Serato system, and that Spotify playlist, Joel Mukosa, is being seen globally, and is telling the rest of the globe, this is the artist who is big in Uganda. These are the number of spins they are making. So consider this artist on your next festival. So as an industry, we need to think beyond performers. We need to start thinking as an industry and consider how we can work with other stakeholders, including DJs, including producers, record labels, including promoters, everybody.
Because when you look, sorry, because we're doing the objectives UMA, ebigendererwa byabwe baze twandisa abamu goals ogenda okukkakkana nga almost is the same that the federation is doing right now. You wanted at one moment to kwogera nabo bakyali ba UPRS, it is the same they are doing. You wanted the copyright, it is the same basically again they are doing. So ngenda okulaba nga basically bo ate nabo bakolanga era namwe bye muli mukola almost the same things if you look at it.
I agree. I think this is what is happening with the federation. The federation yali ku Mulamwa, I was there at the beginning. There were a few early meetings I missed, but during the elections, I was there. And the vision gye sharing anti tugenda kukwasaganya associations tutandika okutambuza eddoboozi lya industry wamu was an awesome vision. Era naffe ne tugisupportinga. Now, what we noticed deviating from that vision was that instead of the federation acting as a federation that federates entities, it started behaving like an association.
Yes, that is the
that
thing.
we disagree with, because we think a federation that behaves like an association starts to duplicate
because
roles.
mwaba balina okukola ebizibu byammwe as an association
Yes.
bo ne mbatwalira for implementation naye ate kati bakola bye mulina okuba
Thank you. It starts to duplicate roles and activities. Ne twekanga tuli mu kwonoona bwonoonyi ssente na kwonoona budde. Kanku example emitungo ebyo ebya copyright tubibaddeko. Mbuuza tubibaddeko tutya. Okuva Dr. Hildeman we yayingira mu parliament n'ateeka proposal y'okureviewinga etteeka. The first step whichever ne process netandika yagenda mu research ne ba drafting something with Uganda Law Reform Commission. The first activity gye baakola UMA yagirimu and other stakeholders.
Yes.
Ne tuvaawo ne tusaba naye yali wider consultation on the principles of the copyright law. Ne tuvaawo ne tusaba ne specific one with the musicians. Ne tugikola ku National Theatre. Ne tuvaawo ne bakola other consultations. Kati federation erina okujja negamba what have you done ku association level, kiki ekiganye, kiki kyetusobola tukwate ekyo ekiganye. So
they are going back to square one.
That should be the interdependence. Ugamba okay, kino bakimaze kati kiki kyemulaba nti kigenda bawa obuzibu kyetuyinza okukwatira awamu. Ebyo bye tulina okukola ne tugamba ku level eno tujja kukwata bino mwe mukwate biri. That's the essence of a federation. Ne tumanya nti bino nze ekutte ettabi lino ne federation ekutte omuti gwonna. Yekutte yemirandira
yeri wansi muli eno
ffe tuli matabi. Buli omu nebigamba omanyi kweno tukole strategy nti kweno issue mwe mukwate ensonga eri ensonga endala negikwasa abalala. Coordinating the process of moving the industry forward kyerina okukola. So ate si replicating abali be bakola.
That is the thing.
And that's where our direction is. Nti twagala bagoberere ekiriwo kyeki waliwo already structures tubadde tukolagana ne government nga wabuuza earlier nti government eringa yakatuuka tena nti yakatuuka ebaddewo era yatuwadde ki process negamba through government ministry UNCC NCF then the associations. So now that the federation is a new player, it inserts itself between NCF and the associations. Eberanga a new layer. So our netula negamba okay, mwe association je tutule. Tukole tutya ekintu kino ate kibere even bigger and stronger. But this federation is behaving like an association.
Very good. Era kyovdola anagambye naye kati ndabanga byebimu. Kati awe tuba tuvuddeko because there is also the leadership of which some people are agreeing, others are like not agreeing. You being there with a lot of experience, ngomanyi how these things work. Now the leadership, of course, the federation, because at the level of the associations, abayimbe musobola okwebereramu, then you're having people like you, ababere mabega, of course nga bwe tebakulonze bulonzi, but because you have the time, you have the experience, and you have also the knowledge okubayamba. And now we have the federation of which they are having these artists as the ones headlining. Tuchimanyishe babera busy, Kenza babera busy, ebyaddala babera busy. When it comes to the leadership, as a person who has been there, what would be your advice according to what they did?
My advice is something we shared a little bit with Bebe Cool earlier. And for those who have been around Bachimanyi, nti industry issues are full-time issues. Meetings again amaso daily. Setting up a federation or running a federation is not an event. It's a full-time gig. So obango oli busy oli na full-time career as an artist. Togenda kusobola chikola. So obomanyi togenda kusobola chikola. The first step is to set up a secretariat. Because the secretariat ye yawula between omuntu gwe balonze ku bya finance politically ne omuntu accountant. waliwo omuntu nga ku finance ng'alinga alina political position babeere no ku vision sente tuzikolemu ki tukole project eno neeno naye essaawa wetuuka ey'okumenyaamenya sente n'ozigaba ate awo si yazikwata accountant be bazikwata bakasha ki anybody under the finance department nga bali technical because omuntu wa finance ku committee tasobola tamanyi bya audit reports tasobola kukola filing a tax returns tasobola kukola the real bookkeeping
omuntu aba alina okuba nga yabisoma
ng'abitewebala okutunula mu ledgers natandika oku entering a records professionally is adding up yes emirimu gya secretariat so the federation should embark immediately on setting up a secretariat even to streamline communication. Right now there have been over I think 100 meetings going on. Every single meeting should be minuted because every meeting is a discussion that should lead somewhere. It shouldn't just be mbozamalwa tezibeera na minutes. So musobola okunyumya ne mutandikira we mwagala ne mukoma we mwagala naye emboozi is that development of the music industry zino okubeerako minutes zino okubeerako exactly ku nsonga zino kati secretariat yebeegoberera nejjayo empapula negamba ku nsonga eri tukomye wano kati mbobanga baluke omukeeka nomanya nti kali ku side eno omukeeka ogutuusizza wa ku side eno n'ogenda ng'ojjayo documentation naye mutuula nga mwogera ne munyumyamu ne mugenda weekanga nga temulina we mutuuse. As an institution, I think that the federation right now is running too fast for its own good. Why? The most important issue is right now, kutereza formation process. Baku drafting a constitution, bakizaganye how to federate with the federators, that is the associations, batekeo secretariat, then batandike emirimu. Okutandika emirimu nga temunaba na kubeera entity. Kati saawa zino wonyinza omuntu anonya ne gwasuinga nga tamulaba kati which means aba suinga individuals which means any mistakes they make right now they are individually liable for those mistakes tewali federation bigambo sawa zino
so leadership yabo olabanga positions ng'omuyimbi it is going to be tricky for them
olabanga abayimbi kati ne Kenzo mwenyini yatugambe he had to cancel a tour in the US to be able to stay but this stay is not defined. There should be a start point and end point. Nga unagamba tugenda structuring a federation registering by this date, by this time nga kino kibingide waliwo road map eri clear. Naye saawa zino tewali road map. N'abayimbi abaliyo abasulayo bafunye fatigue ey'okubeerayo. Ne bana abajja bafunye fatigue ya transport. Okimanyi nti abayimbi abalina ku ssente batono. Abasigadde saawa zino ndowooza kibagumiza mmere. Tibakyagaba kamera. Akamera kanaggwawo nako. Because walina okubeerawo a clear road map and a clear set of deliverables in that road map nti twagala kukola kino tugenda kukola kino tuve ku kino kati mulimu ebintu ebimu nga tebadde tebiri agent nnyo ku formation stage yaliwedde formation stage ne balyoka bamanya nti institution etandise okukola kati weeri eyo institution yalina okuwandikira abantu ne bayita naye kati wano right now individuals are summoning people in the name of a federation which doesn't exist yet.
Because abasinga, when you tell artists about the federation, what comes in their mind first is sente. Sente za government. That is the first thing that comes to them first. Number one. Number two, babaloza neka transport refund, which could be okay because they are planning something. So babijja mu bino byonna bigenda maaso kati nsonga ya kajja. Kati ate ngera mu nsonga za kajaba n'abayimbi abato the likes of Rakwa Spice Dana kwa naye tunayo n'abayimbi baffe banene abato ba John Black akudda wansi Liam Voice ba unknown they are talented but because waliwo bana abekiwago so tujja Shiba the other gentleman is saying yamu insulting namugoba nagamba agenda kufuba bayita Shiba so goloza ekintu kino kati ate kiyingiddemu sente ne kiyingiramu politics. What would be your take? Money, politics in the federation and music?
I think my view is to percentage, but front in zenyo, and it's a very bad thing for the industry. But we have our picture and send is to driving people lose interest in the serious industry issues. In fact, those industry issues haven't come out very clearly. Abantu bafocus in the percent. Sente zali work on the Zamalondi Gumu when what? The Prime Minister came to the day of the election ne bagabawo sente buli omu n'agusa kyagusiza then waliwo minisita we yajjawo naye obusente tebwagenda mu buli omu bwakomandoza mu ba executives but tewali sente. People are anticipating sente. Kenzo has mentioned government is coming through, but the reality is government is coming through the systems. At the very systems that they have sort of ignored. Mbuza how? There was ignorance in the sense that structures zibadde zitambulira mu NCF, UNCC, ministry. Sente zemanyi eza government ziyita mu structures ezo. But for a while babadde nezo tebagala manya. Their thinking was that there was some kind of arrogance that we can rebuild everything from scratch. There's no need to refer to history, to structures, to anything. I think, but of course there's always the wake-up call eventually ngolaba reality turns okolachi okukona. But the issue of money, I think it's a very bad idea to front that because we know the history of Uganda, we know the present of Uganda. Tewali sente. This is a developing country. I highly doubt, because I have worked with also government institutions, and we've worked with government for a long time. We've never seen that money. The last time we saw anything close to that, it went to the promoters. And then it's a one-off. You cannot bank the future of the music industry on a one-off. Yeah. The music industry should be about that one-off. We should look at it nga wonagamba omuntu agenda kuwa ekyennyanja walibadde oteesa naye ekifo ky'okumpa ekyennyanja lwaki tompa ddobo then n'odda mu mboozi ya eddobo gye kiwano mu industry. What is it what's that thing kyetusobola okukolamu ssente continuously netugamba mukati twetadde ekifo kyaka one-off. Eno yandibadde time y'okuexploring ebintu ebyo era weebiri. I noticed buttons of bikwatako ebimu after we started putting pressure, but that should have been the very first step, not because tubataddeko pressure, but because it's the most important thing. Nga industry tulina ebintu ebyalibadde bituyamba okukola sente on an ongoing basis. For example, ngaffe tubadde already tukolagana as stakeholders in industry. Federation ebadde genda kujja kuteekawo a formal way for us to do that. But UMA ebadde ekolagana ne UPRS, ekolagana ne NCF, ekolagana ne UNCC. For example, we tried to insert ourselves in the budget currently, and we went to Ministry of Finance and we met the PSST, Gobi, as a team, as the government entities, the private entities, netugenda tulumba as a group.
Yeah.
The same last a week and a half ago, we met the Prime Minister, still as a group. Netugamba nti UNCC eriwali, netusika minister, our direct state minister, Peace Mutuzo, UPRS neberawo, all the key stakeholders nebaberawo.
Because it's in for the time so federation you streamline, and then that part of politicizing again the federation and the music as art.
There's been a lot of that talk about.
Is it true or false as per you?
I mean, the politicization is real.
Yeah.
And it comes in at different levels. The government is obviously threatened with the influence of music.
Very good. This is what we're going to be doing, yeah? Of course, Charlie Mwami Jeff, you're going to be talking about that a little bit. But again, I'll go to another question. When Joe Kobol is, if you guys are having all this knowledge and you've been there, done it for all these years, you've been trying to reach that point, and now these people have come up, why can't you guys go advise these people? And then you're like, because that's what I would call experience, yeah, which is you don't just achieve. Let's just go in for a short break. Of course, we're proudly powered by MTN. Jeff, of course, we have some stories against the Sudani. Ne babba ssente z'abantu kibinyo ate nga bannayuganda baffe waneeno baakoze emisango mingi nnyo tebaaperforminze. One, then two, eno emboozi yo katusooke mu break, then after we're going to be telling you some of those.